I appreciate you joining me once again. We are going to be thinking about Jacob's treatment of Joseph from Genesis chapter 37 today, as verse 3 talks about, now Israel loved Joseph more. The hymn we're going to consider is a hymn called Closer to Thee.
Closer to thee, near to thy side, closer, dear Lord, I would abide. Hold me in thy embrace, 'neath every smile of grace. Grant me thy child a place closer to thee.
Now let's read our passage together. Genesis 37, verse 1. Now Jacob dwelt in the land where his father was a stranger in the land of Canaan. This is the history of Jacob. This is the history of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brothers. And the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought a bad report of them to his father. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age. And he made him a tunic of many colors. But when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and could not speak peaceably to him. One of the points, and I've done the same thing, that one of the points that is often made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is the issue with favoritism. And Abraham sends Ishmael away, and you have Isaac, his beloved son. With Isaac, as he grows up and has children, Isaac favored Esau, but Rebekah favored Jacob. And with Jacob, he favors Joseph. And it makes one think about issues of partiality. And we quickly go to the New Testament and the verses that talk about partiality. And we apply that to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I think one of the interesting things, though, is that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Rebekah, will include her as well, they're never rebuked for thinking this way. Now, I'm not sure if that makes it right, but I do think it's interesting that they're never rebuked. And here, I also think it's important that it's not Jacob loved Joseph in verse 3, it's Israel loved Joseph. Anytime I would suggest it speaks about Israel, there's more to the picture than what's just on the surface. And regardless of how you think about favoritism, at some point you're going to run into book of Romans. I believe it's Romans where it talks about God hating Esau but loving Jacob. And you're going to have to deal with the issue, does that mean God plays favorites? And you're going to have to deal with that question. If God is impartial, then why did God hate Esau and love Jacob? That's for a whole nother lesson. Again, I think Jacob is an example of grace, unmerited favor, for one thing. But regardless, let's just simply consider our passage. And from our perspective, as we think about closer to thee, we seek that special relationship with God. That's what we seek. We draw near unto him. Back to our hymn, we want to be near his side. We want to abide with him. We want him to hold us in his embrace. We want his grace. We want that place closer to thee. We want that favored place. We seek God's favor. God's people, and that's the thing, they're God's people. When it speaks about we are a peculiar people, it doesn't mean that we're strange. It means we have that special relationship, that special relationship. Come out from among them and be separate. And we enjoy God's favorite. God hears the prayers of the righteous, but his face is against those who do evil, Peter speaks about. We want and enjoy that favored relationship. And that's Joseph, as Israel loves Joseph more. He's the son of his old age. He made him a tunic of many colors. We want that inheritance. We want that blessing. We want that birthright. We want those things. We appreciate those things. We enjoy those things because we want that special relationship with God. And while Jesus died for the sins of the whole world, and we recognize that, not everybody is going to be saved. Everybody could be saved if they would turn to the Lord. And that's the thing. To think about treatment, if you will, treatment of others. Israel loved Joseph more than all his children because he's the son of his old age. How do you think Joseph felt about Israel? How do you think Joseph felt about his father? And we think about God's place in our lives. Do we love everyone the same? Or is the royal commandment, you shall love the Lord thy God with thy heart, soul, mind, and strength? And the second is like it. But God comes first. How do you think Joseph, in my point in saying that is, does that make us partial, if you will? The verses that speak about partiality are perhaps dealing with another issue. We love the Lord. The Lord comes first. Israel loved Joseph. And undoubtedly, Joseph loved Israel. I think you can see that, of course, as he's reunited with his father after all that time in Egypt. But we'll say this concerning this special relationship that we have, this closer to thee relationship. Because of that, because of the Lord's feelings towards us and because of our feelings towards the Lord, don't be surprised at the outcome. Verse 4. When his brothers saw all this, they hated Joseph and could not speak peaceably to him. That when we enjoy a special relationship with God, when God loves us and we are his peculiar people, and we have that intimate relationship, and we enjoy that relationship, and we do not want to lose that relationship, don't be surprised when it ruffles other people's feathers, because you don't love them more than you love God. Love the Lord. Draw close and closer to the Lord, and he will draw near unto you. Appreciate you. Hope you have a good day. Might think about issues of favoritism, such things as that. Feel free to leave comments, whatever, down below. Appreciate you. Hope you tune in tomorrow for another portion of our daily praise.